So when we have our verbs, we split them into three types. One, we have verbs like charlar. That verb ends in AR. Another verb type that we have is our verb responder. Ends in ER. And then a last type of verb that we have on a regular basis is like this one, compartir. And then ER. Charlar significa to chat. Responder significa to reply. And compartir significa to share. So all of these verbs right now are in the infinitive form. Which means that they haven't been conjugated at all. So our first step that we learned was how to conjugate this verb that ends in AR. And our first step was to erase the AR, and then we got the root, right? So our root was charl. And when we made our table, we added different endings on. So if we wanted to say I chat, we added an O onto the end of the charla. So I chat was charlo. If you were talking to a friend and you wanted to say you chat, you'd add as. So tú charlas, you chat. If we wanted to be formal and respectful, we would say usted charla. And you're talking to one person. If you're talking about one person, a girl or a boy, you'd add the a. So charla, él charla, ella charla. If you have a group of people talking, you'd say nosotros or nosotras. You'd add an amos. That's not a. If you're talking to a group of people, you'd say ustedes charlan. And if you're talking about a group of people, you'd say ellos charlan. So we noted some similarities. The usted, oh, that was an eraser, sorry. The usted form was the same as the el and the ella form. The ustedes form was the same as the el and the ella. Ellos and the ellas form. So some patterns. And 99% of the verbs that end in AR are going to follow this pattern. We're going to run into some that have some other issues, but all of our regular AR verbs have this. So today what we're going to look at is how to correctly conjugate this other verbs that end in ER and verbs that end in IR, and they're a lot alike. We're going to do the same thing. So we add the verb responder. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take off the ER. And we're going to make that the root. So our root is respond. And then we're going to make a table. And we're going to just memorize those endings. It looks exactly like that last table. So one person talking is respondo. If you're talking to a friend, tú respondes. Usted responde. Él and ella responde. Nosotros, nosotras respondemos. Ustedes responden. And ellos and ellas responden. just like before, the usted form looks exactly like the él and the ella form. The ustedes form looks exactly like the ellos and ellas form. So we have repeats, but that's okay. So that's the verb responder, right? That was our ER verb. Now let's look at our IR verb. We have compartir. Again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take off the ir, and our root is going to be compart, all the way through. And we're going to add endings. So we have comparto. Hey, that's the same. Tú compartes, also the same. Usted comparte, also the same. Él comparte, also the same. Ellos and ellas comparten, also the same. And ustedes comparten, also the same as the ER verbs. So every instance so far, it's been the same. Here's our only change. Imos. Compartimos. So your ER verbs and your IR verbs share the same ending patterns for everywhere except the nosotros vowel. So O-S-A-N is the same all the way through, but we need to just be aware that the ERs take the and the IRs take the E.